Welcome back everybody, MC here with another video, and today I am going to be doing the next part of our Terraria playthrough. So our goal for today is to kill King Slime. As you can see, we have slime falling from the sky, and we want to kill King Slime so that we can get a couple of necessary items, or very beneficial items at least, and that will be the King Slime mount. And I believe it's called the Royal Jelly, and the Royal Jelly is an item that makes all slimes friendly. Now that might not sound like much in the grand scheme of things, because slimes are not the strongest enemies in the entire game, but when you look at the amount of slimes that are in the game, then you realize that it becomes very, very important to have the Royal Jelly item. For example, when you are in Hell and you're preparing for Wall of Flesh, especially in Expert mode, you don't want to have lava spilling all over the place, so you don't want to have to kill lava slimes. So if you have the Royal Jelly on while you prepare for Wall of Flesh, or even during the Wall of Flesh fight, you won't be interrupted by lava slimes. It's really, really important to have that item equipped. So what we're doing here is, this isn't really a trick per se, but it's kind of like a strategy for killing King Slime. What you do is you find a nice little space, and you build two platforms, or actually no, it doesn't work with platforms at all. You have to use wood blocks or stone blocks, and you just make them in a straight line so you can run up and down the platforms, or the blocks. I keep saying platforms. And you put a little hole in the top of them. I'll show you that in a moment. Try and do it somewhere where there's a lot of space, and try and do it somewhere where, of course, you're going to have enough room to run back and forth from the King Slime. And I'll show you exactly why we're doing this in a moment, but I'm just going to point out that they have to be head height. So don't put them one block higher than what you see on your screen right now. Otherwise, it's going to be even harder to kill King Slime with this technique. Now, I usually put one block or one gap in the top wood. Actually, I usually skip two and make one, as you can see there. So there's two blocks, one gap. It's actually better if you make two gaps, or two blocks wide gap. Sometimes it can ruin the strategy to put a space of two in there, but it's better for your aim, and it's better for the fight in terms of getting the job done. So maybe as a compromise, sometimes what I do is I have some blocks in this little strategy that are 2 blocks wide instead of having the 1 block wide. And as I said, flatten out the surface as well. So I feel like if I was to stay in this place right now, I'm probably going to fall off on the left. So it's probably better if I, even that bit out a tiny bit as well. And for the sake of symmetry as well, you could always put in the extra block so that you don't have an odd one out. But I feel like if we are to go ahead here, we'll be pretty strong against King Slime. We have 360 max health, we have the meteor armor, and we're just sorted, to be honest. We don't really even need to use a strategy, but I like to use strategies when I fight bosses, because that's what those strategies are there for. Especially if you're weaker than what I am right now, it would be useful to have a strategy available so that you can kill King Slime when you have less armor. But in general, there is absolutely no point in worrying about King Slime, because he's probably the second weakest boss of the game relative to where you fight him. Like, for example, in my opinion now, Golem is easier than King Slime, because by the time you get to Golem, you have already defeated Plantera, and you have so much gear that if you lose to Golem, then it's you did something wrong, you know. So you don't need to use the nurse, for example, for this fight. Obviously, you don't need to use any extra strategies. Just 2 lines of blocks, and obviously just wait for the King Slime to spawn. To actually get King Slime to spawn, you have to kill, I think it's 200 slimes. I could be wrong there. So once you have killed 200, he will spawn automatically. So just keep killing his little slime friends until he spawns. That's pretty much what I do. and I don't think it matters what color slime you kill, even though King Slime himself is blue. There is a fan theory out there that if you kill blue slimes more than the other ones, you spawn them faster, but I think that's absolutely bollocks. Now, before the fight itself starts, I have one more thing I want to mention, and that is, who is the ninja in King Slime? Because that is one part of Terraria that's never been explained. Who is inside King Slime? I assume King Slime pretty much jumped on this poor ninja, and the ninja got trapped in the King Slime. I don't think the ninja controls the slime. I think King Slime is literally self-controlled, and he just has a ninja trapped in his body. But that's up for debate. What you guys think in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure we're about to spawn him here very shortly. I'm going to let you guys enjoy the fight when it does happen. I might make one or two comments, but other than that, I'll just let you guys watch it. And hopefully we won't have any issues. I don't see us having any issues. We have everything we need, to be honest. And we even have iron skin potions as well, so our defense is going to be ramped up as well. I mean, we have, as I said, 26 armor, and we have something that's very important, and that is the Eye of Cthulhu shield, or the Shield of Cthulhu, which means we can dodge away. It is very important to equip the Shield of Cthulhu for this fight. Not that you should never have it in the first place. You should always have this item equipped, unless you are trying to maximize or min-max your accessories, but always have the Shield of Cthulhu equipped for this particular strategy. Otherwise, you're going to get killed over and over again. And the problem with King Slime is he chases you, so I don't think you can just run away from King Slime. You have to make sure that you stay with him and actually fight him. If you die, you die, but if you win, you get a lot of really good items, and of course, it is not the most difficult fight of all time either, so you should be fine. And I'm just lighting this place up a little bit so you can see. One of the worst things about Terraria is if you're recording, it can be a very dark game, which means people can't see what the hell you're doing. Even in fact, you can't see what you're doing yourself when you're playing the game sometimes. But we should be fine here. This should be enough light. I mean, it's already nighttime and you guys can see everything, so it's fine. And hopefully we will be able to spawn him here shortly, so I can shut the fuck up and let you actually enjoy the fight itself and see what the strategy does. As I said, I will point out one or two things as we use the strategy itself, and one or two changes that I make throughout the fight too, because whenever I do this strategy, I always end up making changes halfway through the fight. It's because of, as I said, the 2 block versus 1 block rule. So sometimes I forget that it's very hard to shoot up through 1 block. You definitely need space across the bridge or across the arena, the mini arena, I guess, to actually hit the enemy. So, enjoy the fight. As you can see, he gets stuck on top because of the size of him. He will teleport down underneath the top set of blocks, and he'll try and hit you. You use the Shield of Cthulhu to move left or right away from him, and then he will get stuck on the top, simply because he can't fit in the blocks below. So it's a nice little strategy to get him away from you, and you just shoot up through the blocks. But once again, I'll say it one last time, try to give yourself a bit more room than I did. I definitely didn't give myself enough room, and I'm having trouble shooting up between the blocks. And unfortunately, if you make it all 2 blocks wide, sometimes he can fit down with you. So be very careful, his hitbox can be a bit weird sometimes. Always leave it with 1 block, and then every now and then, or every couple of blocks, make a 3 block wide or a 2 block wide gap for you to shoot through. As you can pretty much see already, this strategy is making this fight go on forever compared to how long it would take if I was a bit more prepared. I made a silly mistake by not giving myself enough room to shoot, but it's fine as long as the King Slime gets killed. And he's taking a big chunk of health off me, but he doesn't do enough damage. He only does 2 hearts worth of damage per go, so we should be fine here. If you ever get stuck on the wrong side of King Slime, make sure that you use a door to get away, because he will try and get through the door, but he'll have to teleport to you in order to get in through the door, which means you can then be on the right side of him again and run straight back to your little arena. Imagine almost dying to King Slime. Couldn't be us. Anyway, we have finally killed King Slime, so that's another boss down in our playthrough. We have only killed, is it 3 bosses so far? Which means we're going a little bit slow on this one. But at least this particular boss is going to be making a big difference to our accessories. And to get, like, if we get, say, the slime mount from this, which I don't know if it's 100% guaranteed to get. And once again, the royal gel is very important too. I don't know if you're 100% guaranteed that either. The slime hook as well is very handy. Actually, this is huge for this playthrough because I didn't have a slime hook, or I didn't have a hook this entire playthrough. Probably the longest I've ever gotten without getting enough ores for a hook. It's just because I haven't been going to the right place to get them. Very silly of me. But yeah, so we finally have a hook now as well. And pretty much we're just going to bounce around the map. The best thing about the slime mount is you don't take as much fall damage and you can jump nice and high. So it's really easy to get through all this crappy terrain. The slime mount is very good at jumping up high, but it's not very good moving left and right. So I'd recommend toggling between the slime mount and running if you want to be faster as you go around the map. And we'll be using the slime mount against bosses very shortly as well. You'll see which one we're going to be using it against. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for another video. By the time our next video comes out, it'll be 1.4, and this playthrough will have changed. The weather effects will have changed, and so will a couple of the other bits and pieces, like including a new enemy or a couple of new enemies in the game. We won't have the new biomes in this playthrough, but what we're going to do is we're going to finish this expert playthrough and then do a master mode playthrough with all the new biomes and all the new enemies. So can't wait for 1.4, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much for hanging out. Ta-ta!